So even though we haven't really used the term branch, we haven't made branches or referenced them in any way, in Git, you are always working on a branch. And we've seen evidence of this. You've hopefully seen this before on branch master, nothing to commit. Or it may not say nothing to commit, but on branch master something. So in any repository, here's my first novel. If I type git status, here we are, on branch master. And you can see the way I have my terminal configured, it also shows me my branch that I'm on currently. It shows master here. That's what that is. So when we learn how to change branches, you'll see that updated as well on this right-hand side. So we're always on a branch, even though we didn't decide to be on the master branch. We didn't create the master branch. It's just there for us. And that's exactly what the master branch is. It's just the default branch name when you make a new Git repository. When we run git init, automatically, the branch that we start on is called master. Now, it doesn't do anything special. It doesn't have any fancy powers whatsoever. It's just like any other branch. Every single possible branch you create, they have the same abilities, the same commands. There's nothing special about master except for the fact that it just happens to be made for you. Now, some people do treat the master branch as special in their own project. They treat it as the source of truth, the official project branch, the main branch, where they don't want to mess anything up. So they treat the master branch as like our official working code base. And then I'll try things on other branches, and if they work, I combine them back into master. But again, that is a choice that you make or that specific developers make. From Git's perspective, the master branch is just like any other branch. It does not have to hold the master copy of your project. You can delete it, you can rename it, and in fact, I want to talk about renaming it for a moment. This is a topic that will come up again a couple of times throughout the course. The name on Git and GitHub for the default branch name for a long time was master. However, in 2020, GitHub announced that they were renaming the default branch name from master to main as part of a larger push by tech companies to try and avoid any potentially offensive language. So GitHub, again, just GitHub, made this change from master to main. With Git, however, what we're using, we haven't touched GitHub yet, Git, the default branch name is still master. And that's why we see things like on branch master. We didn't name it master, it's just the default branch name. However, there are conversations happening, and that may change in the future, and I will also show you how to change the default branch name if you want to do this. It's easy to do, but I'm going to wait until we talk a little bit more about branches. I don't want to talk about renaming and changing branch names before we even really understand what they are. So we will come back to this, but I want to bring this up because on most of the documentation, tutorials, videos that you see out there, you will see the term master branch as the default branch name. And over time, more and more people will likely adopt main. So we'll put a pin in that for now. And my slides are going to continue to use master just because it is what your Git is going to show you, branch master. But once we get to GitHub, we will use main. Okay, so I mentioned that there's nothing special at all about the master branch. But a lot of companies or a lot of people treat it as your main branch where things should always be working. It should be the main copy of your code base or of your project. So you could then make a branch to try something experimental and make some commits and test something out. And then if you like that, you can incorporate it back to master branch, or you can abandon it and just move on and keep working on your master branch and just not incorporate this experimental branch. This is an approach a lot of people use. It's a very common workflow, and we will actually have a section on Git workflows and collaboration patterns. But this is a very, very common one. It's called feature branching or creating feature branches. So you have your main or your master branch, which acts as the source of truth, and then you add new feature branches and merge them back in when it makes sense. So here's another version of the same thing. We have Ethel and Fitz working on their own branches, and then our master branch or the main branch where their changes can be merged in. But for us at the moment, the only significance of the master branch is that it just exists. So next, we're going to learn how to make our own branches and how to switch between them. But before that, we're actually going to talk about this right here. What is this thing? Head arrow master.